Manitoba and in our party federally the opportunity as workers, if we work hard and put women and men into public office who believe in things that we believe in, that we can build a better world for workers and a world that takes care of the interests of renters, that takes care of the interests of the poor and the marginalized. We have never, in the history of this Labour Council, been a trade union movement that is worried only about ourselves. We absolutely have demands at bargaining tables, legitimate demands. We want the right to strike. We want the right to organize. We want the right that scabs cannot take our jobs away. But we also want a society that takes care of itself.
I'm here speaking to you in support of Bill 43, and am particularly concerned about the rise of the incredibly harmful rhetoric across Canada, including in Manitoba, that seeks to divide our communities, divide our workplaces, and divide our experiences as both service users as well as service providers.
Do members of the committee have questions for the presenter? The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Thank you, Honourable Chair, and thank you, Mrs. McKay, for your presentation here this evening. It's very much appreciated. I appreciate that you laid out how high the stakes are. In your case, specifically in the context of working folks, and your advocacy over the years has been absolutely stellar in that regard.
Every day I witness the strength, resilience, and inherent right of my loved ones and countless others to live authentically and express their gender identity freely. This isn't merely a matter of personal support. It is a fundamental human right.
Workday is not a human being. It's a computer. Fix Workday. Hire human beings. We care. We matter. We do hard work. Fix Workday.
What do we want? Fix Workday. What do we want? Fix Workday. Maintenance staff traded mops and brooms for picket signs this afternoon. An information picket was set up outside St. James Assiniboia School Division this morning. The union representing the school division's maintenance workers feels they're not being treated fairly by the division. They've been unable to agree on a new contract for nearly 3 years. However, the union points out, during that same time, teachers and educational assistants have all been given new contracts.
We're the last of the 3 to sign, so we just figure we'd like to get the same deal they got and maybe a little fair treatment. We haven't been getting the same fair treatment as everybody else. Being the smaller local, we feel that we're kind of getting disrespected a bit.
CTV News reached out to St. James Assiniboia School Division. A spokesperson tells us it will have a response tomorrow.
If you want to be an employer of choice, there's 3 areas that you need to look at: compensation, flexible workplace, and room for education and advancement.
Underfunded, overworked, and overwhelmed. That's how advocates say foster parents and social workers in Manitoba's child welfare system are feeling. And they warn children's care is suffering because of it. This, as our province recorded the highest number of deaths within the CFS system in more than a decade. CTV's Danton Unger takes a look at Manitoba's child welfare system and joins us now live. So Danton, what are you hearing from people inside the system?
Well, advocates I spoke with say Manitoba has some of the lowest rates in the country paid to foster parents. This combined with what one union says is an overwhelming workload for social workers, some dealing with 50 cases by themselves, makes for a strain on the system. And they fear if this continues, children in care will fall through the cracks.
Our system struggles.
Shelley Baker is an on-call dispatch worker for Winnipeg CFS and president of the CUPE local representing Winnipeg CFS support workers. She says in the past 4 years, they've lost nearly half their staff.
Individuals that come into care have been traumatized in many ways, and we can't always meet those higher needs and supports that are required due to the low ratio of staffing.
Manitoba is on the verge of its biggest strike in a century.
25,000 healthcare workers is a substantial number. We haven't seen these numbers since 1919.
Gina McKay of CUPE is hearkening back to the famous strike in which tens of thousands walked off the job. The difference this time, by law, workers must provide essential services during a labor dispute.
A strike is always the last resort, but healthcare is in a staffing crisis, and this crisis demands urgent action.
CUPE and MGEU are giving the employer until October 8th to reach a deal. If not, 25,000 healthcare support workers in Winnipeg and southern Manitoba will go on strike. These are healthcare aides, home care workers, and those working in nutrition and laundry services.
Prioritize care, prioritize these workers, and prioritize coming back to the table with an offer that we can take back to our members.
During these negotiations, support workers have been offered the same wage increases given to nurses and teachers, but their starting wages are much lower.
These are some of the least paid workers and those who need a bump in pay and improvement in conditions the most. So in some senses, this is the most difficult challenge for the government.
If a strike happens, patients will be impacted.
If this government wants to fix healthcare, it can't fix healthcare by having a strike of this magnitude.
Bargaining for healthcare support workers in Manitoba could be at a stalemate with just a week to go until roughly 25,000 healthcare support workers could walk off the job, leading to health organizations starting to prepare for potential disruptions.
If a deal is not met, healthcare aides, laundry workers, dietary aides, ward clerks, recreation coordinators, and other support staff could all strike on October 8th, which both CUPE and MGEU were hopeful to avoid until the province came back with the same offer on Tuesday, previously denied. CUPE says while there is an essential services agreement in place to continue health services in the event of a strike, staff levels would be reduced by roughly 30%.
There isn't a wait list or a patient or a home care client that can do with a third less in terms of healthcare services or any Manitoban starting October 8th.
We're CUPE Manitoba Healthcare Support Workers, here for you when it matters most. Now we need your support. Help us secure fair wages and conditions so we can keep delivering the care you deserve. Visit allinforhealthcare.ca. A message from CUPE Local 204.
Hi, I'm Margaret Schroeder, President of CUPE Local 204. Welcome to our strike headquarters. We have a lot of our members here coming in to get signed up for their strike pay. They're getting answers, questions. We've got members helping each other. We have our national reps come on by to get your strike pay signed up for and answer any questions that you might have.
Right now, Monday to Friday.
Hi, I'm Holly Chaperone. I'm the CUPE president for Local 4270. I'm here at the headquarters, and just if you can look around, we've got everything in order. Everything's coming together. We are got some yard signs, some banners out there. They're doing sign-ups for their strike pay, and everything's coming together. We are all in this.
Chris from Concordia. Currently working today on putting together the captain strike kits for each of our picket locations. What we're putting in the kits are everything that they might need: paper towel, first aid kits, garbage cans, stationery. We're gonna have some electronic stuff. We're gonna be doing our sign-ins by tablet. So we've included mobile Wi-Fi with each kit, tablets, rechargeable batteries, anything they might need. We're gonna have a lot of literature and handouts to go as well. We have 22 picket captain locations across the city at our 7 major picket sites, as well as in Selkirk, in Churchill, in Brandon, as well as our members striking at the MGU sites all across the province.
25,000 healthcare support workers in our province have voted in favor of a new deal agreed to earlier this month, ending the threat of a potential strike. CUPE and MGEU, the two unions representing healthcare aides and support staff, announced members have officially ratified a new collective agreement with the province. A tentative deal was reached just 90 minutes before a strike deadline on October 8th. Under the new deal, the average worker will see a 27% wage increase over 4 years. The deal also tacks on additional sick leave, vacation provisions, and scheduling improvements. A strike would have affected non-essential services in many parts of the province, including right here in Winnipeg.
Ministerial statements. The Honourable Minister of Health, Seniors and Long-Term Care.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. And today I'm so happy that we're joined by healthcare support workers. They're here in the gallery with us, who do incredible work every single day for patients across Manitoba. I'm so glad that we were able to meet healthcare support workers at the negotiating table and come to a fair deal. I want to take a moment to thank MGEU and to thank CUPE for their partnership. We know how you bring voices of the front lines forward, and the advocacy that you do for your members is commendable. And together, we need to take care of those who care for us and our loved ones. Support workers will no longer be overlooked. Their contributions to our province will be forever remembered and respected by our government.
Together, we are reminded today that we can build a more engaged movement, a movement to enhance and protect our public services, a movement where local workers can build public facilities, where working people can work full-time and earn wages that keep their lights on and food on the table, and where hate has no place in our workplaces, in our streets, or in our work.